Good Thursday morning, TSC family. We'll get started in a moment.
Live from beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida, you're watching Tropical Storm Central Live, featuring our host, Tim Richardson.
All right, good morning, everyone. Apologize for not going live last night. I came home. I wasn't feeling very good, so I took my gabapentin a little early. Y'all, it knocked me out. If anybody out there has ever took gabapentin, it is a very, very, very harsh drug. It's got bad side effects, and I take a mega doses of it every single day, and it tires me out. It makes me sleepy. It's hard for me to even function at work with it, but I manage through it. So I'm okay, but y'all, it's a tough drug, and you never know how bad the side effects of it's going to be, even on a daily basis, quite frankly. So it's crazy stuff. But anyway, that's what happened last night. I was going to do a live broadcast last night, and when I woke up, I was monitoring the weather with James, and I just zonked out. I purely zonked out, and I just couldn't function, and I could barely get to bed last night. So that's my problem that I had last night at 9 o'clock. So again, I apologize for that. All right, what we got right now, man, look at the rain down in Texas, y'all. Look at the rain down there in Texas. And James did have me covered with the severe weather yesterday. He really did. I tried to cover him for a while, and I purely zonked out on you, James. I apologize for that, man. And look at all the rain up here. Wow. Spring rains are here. It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Needed rain definitely down there in Texas. That's some very needed rain down there. Hopefully you get some down there in the very south part of Texas where rain is really needed down there really badly, I know. I know we need rain over here in Tampa Bay really badly where I live at here. It's like a crusty ground out there is all it is right now here in Tampa. So y'all, there's a lot of places needing rain right now, and hopefully we're going to get some beneficial rain here in Tampa today, and then next week in Tampa. Y'all get ready. We'll get a nice dosing of rain here for a couple of days next week here in Tampa. So that's all welcomed right there as well. All right, let's get going with what we got going on here. What I'm gonna show you first is it's the NIU site for supercell activity. How realistic is this, y'all? It's just one of the sites that gives us long range forecasting is what it does. And right now, currently, you can see the supercell activity for this week through April the 8th, and you can see where the supercell activity is located at. Not a lot, right? Not some really strong supercell activity for the next 7 days. But boy, oh boy, you get over here toward the April 9th through the 15th timeline, showing some really strong supercell activities, centralized mainly in Texas there. And then over there on April 16th through the 22nd, showing some supercell activity here too. Not quite as strong though as that second week out there, is it? Not even close. So I just want to show that with you guys and let you have a little bit of an understanding as to what the potentials down the road are. And again, I don't put a lot of precedence into this. The accuracy of this varies. And all it does is give us an idea as to where severe weather might be and how bad it might be. Well, this is showing currently week 2 out. Now that this is going to be severe, possibly a very severe event. Now bear in mind, this week right here, 2 or 3 weeks out, was also showing the possibility of a very bad severe event. What happened? It doesn't look like it's going to materialize into that right now. And I say right now, yes, we're going to have some severe wind over the next 3 days. Saturday looked like it might be a severe event level. Right now, it doesn't appear that Saturday is going to be quite as bad as once anticipated from the European model. It's calmed down a little bit. Not completely, but it's calmed down some. Might bring some very strong, heavy rain and beneficial rain to Texas, quite frankly. And that same storm system is going to make its way over toward, say, Florida uh, by next week and bring us some very, very beneficial rain. So, again, that's down the road a little bit. It's a little, not really long range for Florida here, but next week, the models are kind of giving us some rain over here in Florida for next week. All right, now let me show you what the Storm Prediction Center has. Right now, they have a categorical 3 threat level centralized in northern parts of Illinois, in the Chicago area, Wisconsin and Iowa region there. Tornado threat level, yeah, it's in that same general area there, as you can see, with the intensity level of 1. Wind threat level is pretty high. We got a 30 percentile out there, say in the Chicago metro area, for high winds. And you look at hail. Hail is a little bit further west, say in western part of Illinois, into Missouri and Iowa, as you can see there. If you read down here on the specifics of the severity level of the summary, it says severe thunderstorms capable of producing. Now listen to this. Capable of producing. Now what's the first thing they're saying out there? A few tornadoes appear probable across parts of eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin this afternoon. Additionally, damaging thunderstorm winds will be possible from eastern Iowa northeast into Michigan. Now, what are they saying there? One thing they're missing is what on this? They're missing hail, aren't they? They didn't say anything about hail there at all. So what I'm going to show you right now is the HRR model in this sector right here. So everything you're seeing right here, right now, y'all, from Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, and even down here. Now, what I have up here is through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that 7 a.m. tomorrow morning represents this graphic right here. Okay? So everywhere on this graphic right here where you're seeing the possibility of tornadic activity, this is a tornadic activity parameter I have up here from the Storm Prediction Center. So everywhere you're seeing tornadic activity right here is represented here on the HRR model in that same area. So if they did not mention hail, but let me say this though. If you look at the hail, there's the hail parameters. It's at 15%. But they're giving the tornado parameters a higher percentage than what there is hail. So you have to think, boy, if that's all tornadic activity, we're going to have some tornadic activity this afternoon here, y'all. Is what we're going to have. And if you look at the timeline for all this to come in play, let me back this up a little bit now. Stop it right there. When does it all start up? It starts up at 3 p.m. this afternoon. 3 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon is when that severe threat level with tornadic activity appears to be coming into play. At 3 p.m. this afternoon. Bad timing for me? Yeah, it is. I am committed and I will definitely go to this. My daughter is in my daughter takes acting lessons, Emma does. And she has an act this evening that I am going to, as I always say, family always comes first. Y'all, that applies to me too, unfortunately, and even during severe time frames. So I have to go to this event that Emma's in tonight. She's in a play, and she has an acting event in this play. She's with major, much older kids. Here, this little 7-year-old is going to be in an acting event with older kids. So this is a big deal for her, and her pawpaw is going to be there. I would never miss something like that. And so I am going to go to her acting event tonight. And my wife and I will both be there, and I wouldn't miss that for nothing. And so, y'all, I apologize again for missing a severe weather event here that's going to unfold here. And it's going to start up at 3 o'clock, and I got to be at my daughter's house at 4. So as James says, he'll be here to cover the best he can. And James does a phenomenal job. He does. David helps when he can too as well. So y'all that's on these messenger boards, okay, I can monitor a lot of things on these messenger boards, guys. Okay, I can follow those events and message you on these messenger boards, even from my phone. So I'll watch along with James, and I'll cover this the best I can, y'all, and we'll have you covered. If you're a subscriber, if you're not on these messenger boards, you're missing out, guys. You're missing out. So if you're a subscriber and you're in Illinois, make sure you get on this Illinois messenger board. Same as Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, Missouri, um, down there in Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, everywhere. If you're a subscriber, get on your state messenger board. Let me tell you this: if you don't want to get the messengers that message from me that's okay. You can come up here, okay, under the parameters there. You can go up there under the parameters, y'all, and you can silence things if you want. If you want to mute your messenger board for the day or for until you want to do it, you can do so. But still get on the messenger board so that if you want to be on that messenger board, you can. Okay? You can mute the ding that goes off to alert you. But I advise you not to do that, because what we tell everybody all the time, we want everybody to remain silent at all times. And you can see right here, we were dinging last night, James and I were, here on the Missouri messenger board. Okay? We were alerting everybody as to what was going on the Missouri messenger board with tornadic activity there last night. And that's what we do. So y'all get on the messenger boards if you're not on there. It's a great tool. That's all I can tell you. It's a great tool to have. All right, let's go forward here now. I dwelled about as much as I can on that, but it is a phenomenal tool. Those of you that are on the messenger boards, you can speak up and tell everybody right now how good they do. Just send a message if you like those messenger boards. All right, let's go forward now. So at 3 p.m., you can see what's going to happen. Here comes those updrafts. This is what it looks like at 6 p.m. Those updrafts are moving through where? Iowa, Missouri, you're already getting it. Okay. Illinois, you're already getting it. Then it's going to come into where? Indiana. Indiana, it starts coming through Indiana about 6 p.m. this evening. And some of those updrafts, guys, are pretty strong. They're fairly strong. And let me say this too. Y'all down there in Texas, Louisiana, and the southern parts here of Arkansas, you have some updrafts down here. If you notice, the Storm Prediction Center, if you look at their categorical level, you got thunderstorm activity down there, don't you? Now, they're not showing tornadic activity down there. But the HR model is giving us updrafts down here. This is what it looks like at 11 p.m. Those updrafts, for instance, down there in Texas, when do they come into play? Well, what thunderstorm activity is happening down there right now is when that comes into play. And about 3 p.m. is when that activity gets really prevalent there, say in Texas and Louisiana. What's that from? Well, you got the heating of the day coming into play. So, James, I'd watch Texas, Louisiana before 3 p.m. down here. Just watch it a little bit. And then up in here, everything gets active after that 3 p.m. and goes through. And if you go through what happens then? About midnight tonight, y'all, everything calms down. Everything calms down about midnight. There is no more updrafts that's happening in this sector. Now we're getting updrafts back here, though, aren't we? In the middle of the night. Just a few. Now, what happens after 7 a.m. tomorrow? Here comes tomorrow's probability. Let me put it up here now. Where's all the severe weather at? Well, it happens primarily there in Iowa and Missouri. That's the strongest area. And then it moves all the way back down into Texas. Tornado threat level is primarily in where? Iowa and Missouri. Now let's watch these updrafts, okay, for this sector right here for tomorrow. Let's see how bad it gets. Here they come. Boom. All of a sudden. But look what's happening here in the HR model. It's just not Iowa and Missouri there, is it? It is not. Look down in Texas, Oklahoma. You see all that down there? Look at that strong updraft moving through Texas down here about 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Look at that. So tomorrow evening could be a violent evening, even down there in Texas. Even though the Storm Prediction Center is not giving any tornadic activity down there, where's the wind threat level at? It extends all the way down there in Texas. Where's the hail threat level at? Look what happened all the way down there in Texas, isn't it? So the Storm Prediction Center is saying, what they're basically saying right now is this. They're thinking that hail or that updraft we're seeing on the HR model, they're saying that is probably going to be hail, is what they're saying. Because they're not putting a tornado graphic down there, are they? Now, is that all going to be hail right there? I'll say this, y'all. I doubt it. It's all going to be hail. If you have hail occurring, you have a pretty strong, especially as strong as that is right there, you have a pretty strong updraft right there, don't we? Showing up. So the possibility of getting a tornadic cell activity in that area, maybe an isolated tornado, it might be possible. It very well might be possible. So then what happens after tomorrow? Here's day 3. This is for Saturday. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is giving us a categorical 1 threat level from Texas and Louisiana and in there into Mississippi, as you can see. And then they have a categorical 1 threat level up here in Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and upstate New York area, as you can see. With the probabilistic of being a 5% level in both those areas. If you read what it says, a summary down here, it says, scattered thunderstorms, including a few strong to severe thunderstorms, are expected across portions of the upper Ohio River Valley and across the Texas Gulf Coast into southern Mississippi River Valley. So that, again, is for Saturday into Sunday. Now, there is going to be an awful lot of outside activities on Saturday, right? It's the day before Easter. Churches are going to have Easter egg hunts. All kinds of activities will be outside. And you know, the worst thing we want is see severe weather, right? That's the worst thing we want. Well, here's from the Weather Prediction Center. This is the rainfall forecast for possibility of flash flooding. For today, we have flash flood chances up there in Wisconsin and Michigan, as you can see. Day 2, that flash flood risk starts up down there in Texas and extends to Ohio, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and up in Missouri for the highest area. That's a slight risk, guys. That's a pretty high risk level. Day 3, that risk level is from southern parts of the Rio Grande all the way up to the Great Lakes region, all the way through there. That's for Saturday. This is a Sunday threat, South Texas. And day 5, there's nothing. So day 4, which would be inclusive of Easter Sunday through Monday morning, that's the problem area is going to be South Texas. But day 3, you see that risk level there. Well, that's Saturday, all day Saturday, into Sunday morning is what that is for. So that means we're probably going to have rain, and probably pretty heavy rain, right? That's what that means. We're going to have rain, and some pretty heavy rain across this region right through here. So here's the rainfall I'm going to show you here. What I have up here is the European model. What I'm going to put up first, though, I want to look at lightning strikes. So what I have, this is at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And you can see those lightning strikes picking up in this sector right here. Y'all, it doesn't look that bad, does it? Down here in Florida. Lightning down there? Yeah. Rain going to occur? Well, yeah. Probably so. We'll get some rain today. Late this afternoon, I'm going to bring my umbrella with me, trust me. But late this afternoon, we're going to have some heavy rain coming into play down here in Florida. Same thing's going to be up here, too. Down there in Texas, right along the Rio Grande. Some heavy lightning down there. There's going to be some good rain. You see the rain crossing right through there as well. Now, what I'm going to put up here real quickly is the GFS model with this. Hold on a second here. I was going to do that. Forgot to do it. So I can put this up simultaneously up here. So what I'm going to put up here is a radar reflectivity modeling. And you can see what happens there today. So there's 2 p.m. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit for Friday. Now you see that rain coming into play there Friday this is Friday. Now, if you look at Friday right here at 5 p.m. on Friday, Good Friday, it's not crazy bad, is it, at 5 p.m.? There's not much going on there. Even in the early night hours, across the southeast here, we have nothing. Texas has a little bit. South Texas, just a little bit of rain coming on. But that big, huge area low pressure is right up here. And there's what's going to be the problem there coming in play on Saturday. James, you have an Easter egg thing. Starts at 11 o'clock in the Austin area there. That doesn't look very good. That does not look very good at all for having an Easter egg hunt outside. Man, if you live in this sector here at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, there's going to be heavy rain here, guys. I don't think at this point in time there's much doubt that there's going to be very heavy rain in that area right through there, where you see all the coloration here on the screen. Very heavy rain is going to exist. You can see the forefront of rain down here as well. If you go to 2 p.m., there's the heavy rain band right there. Indiana's getting saturated. It's absolutely saturated there at 2 p.m. on the day before Easter, Saturday. And heavy rain down here in Texas. And if you look at the rain, let me go ahead forward. That's 8 p.m. on Saturday. What does Easter Sunday look like now? The only place really that's going to get really heavy rain on Easter Sunday is South Texas. You look over here in the east, the eastern seaboard area at 2 p.m.'s got heavy rain. If you have early morning services, say sunrise services, say at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's your heavy rain band. You got to take an umbrella with you there for sure, right? Here's 8 a.m. There's your 8 a.m. rain band. There's what it looks like. Florida, we look clean down here. Sunrise services for all of Florida looks pretty clean, doesn't it? It does. It does. And if you look then at 11 a.m. on Sunday, which is probably one of the biggest time frames for church for a lot of people, is at 11 o'clock. You can see where that rain band is there. A little bit of rain showers there in South Florida. Some up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, all the way up northeast. Heavy rain right through there. A little bit of rain back there in, say, the Lake Charles area at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So the biggest rain, though, is going to be, unfortunately, back here in Texas. Lots of rain for South Texas there, it looks like. South Texas is going to get a nice drenching of rain. How much rain are we talking about here? Now, you remember where the Weather Prediction Center was forecasting rain, heavy rain? There it is. So they have a flash flood risk there, don't they? Flash flood risk there on Easter Day for South Texas. So do be careful in South Texas for the possibility of flash flooding, because even the GFS model is showing that heavy rain there for y'all. Okay, there's heavy rain coming in. How much rain are we talking about here? I'm going to put up a 24-hour total. Okay, and let's go all the way through Sunday. Let's go to Sunday at 6. Let's go to Monday morning at 6 a.m. for a 24-hour total. So that's given us 3 inches of rain in that area. Now, that is very, very needed rain, right? That is very, very, very needed rain right here, isn't it? But that's still, we're in hill country here, and that hill country right here could be very dangerous with just 3 inches of rain. If you look at the east over here, a little bit of rain. Look at the rain here falling for North Carolina and South Carolina. A little bit of rain there in South Carolina. A little bit of rain down here in Florida, don't we? A little bit of rain down here in Florida. lots of rain up here in the Northeast. I would say lots, quarter of an inch to an inch. But the biggest threat level is definitely back here in Texas, without a doubt. Now here is the full rain precipitation totals. And let me go out to a 5-day total. Let me go all the way out to 120 hours out to give us a 5-day total here. Because that's a 5-day total right here. And here's what it looks like. Florida, maybe an inch of rain over most of the state. At least a half an inch maybe. But you go over to the central region over here, and there's where the heavy rain is. Man, that right along the, oh my gosh, Red River Valley region. There it is. I spit it out, didn't I? Right along the Red River Valley region there of Oklahoma and Texas. Y'all, that's 7 inches of rain almost right there. 7 inches. That's a lot. When does that all come into play at 7 inches? I'm backing it up. Hold on now. Notice that 7 inches is still there, isn't it? Still there. Now look. Now I want you to understand this. What we're seeing here on the GFS model here. We got to look at that European model as well, y'all. That's 7 inches of rain coming into play in a 48-hour period, and it's actually in a 24-hour period. In a very short period of time, I'm gonna put up 12 hours. In 12 hours, let's see how much rain that pops in there in a 12-hour period. So it's a little bit more than 12 hours. Let's go to 24 hours. There it is right there. 24 hours. In a 24-hour period, that rainfall comes into play. In a 24-hour period. So it's in a very short period of time, y'all. If you live along that Red River Valley region up here, that could be a very, very high risk area right there. And that all comes into play. Now listen up here. That comes into play Friday night into Saturday morning. That rain all falls in the overnight hours of Friday night, Saturday morning, guys. When you're sleeping. Okay? When you're sleeping in the middle of the night, Friday night, Saturday morning is when this all comes into play here. This is going to be a very, very dangerous, and I do mean a very dangerous area to be in for flash flooding. If you go back and look at the Weather Prediction Center now, okay, where's it got? Right there it is. It's showing it. They have a slight risk. Slight risk is high. Okay, it's not as high as moderate or the high level, but slight risk is a pretty significant risk level for flash flooding. And it's showing up here from the Weather Prediction Center as well. They're telling you that there's a high risk of flash flooding right here. I can go to the HR model here and put the full 48 hours out here. Let's see what it shows here for precipitation. It too is showing that 6.7 inches of rain right there, guys. 6.78. That is a very significant rainfall event right there. Now notice the HR model is showing that a little bit further down in Texas, isn't it? Go to Texas here. You can see where it's at. 6.78 inches of rain right there is where it's at. This is going to be, and again, let's look at the HR model. When does that all come into play? Let me stop it right there. That's what it looks like at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. There's 6 p.m. About 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m. is when that rain starts. And when does all that fall? Right there. It starts falling really heavy right there, say at midnight. Okay? And that rain continues in the middle of the night. And there's your 6.78 right there. I'll stop it. What time does that say? It says 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. So this rainfall here in that area right there is going to fall. Both the European model and the HR model and the GFS model, all three models are showing that rainfall total All this rain falling in the middle of the night of tomorrow night into Saturday morning is when this is going to fall. I would hope that your meteorologists are warning people in that sector of what's coming. Here's the European model for that rainfall total. Let me show you that again. I don't know if I even showed it though. Hold on here. Precipitation totals. And let me go put up. I'll have to go to 72 hours on this one. Let's see. Let me go to 9 a.m. right there. And let me go into that region right there, South Central. So that's given us totals of 5 inches of rain in that area. So the European model is not quite as aggressive as the GFS and the HR model is at this time. Let's look at the national blend of models for this. And it too is not showing really heavy rainfall as a national blend of models. But y'all, which models do I trust? I trust that HR model. That's the model I trust. Let me look at the NAM model real quickly here. See what it says. It's giving us 4.76 inches of rain. 4.76 inches of rain. A lot of that rain's up in Oklahoma. So it is right along that area there as well. So I wouldn't say that we're 100% confident on this, right? Of that flash flood possibility there. But y'all be aware of it. When you go to bed, if you live in that area and you go to bed Friday night, make sure you're very cognizant of what your streams and rivers look like in your area if you live along one. Because there could be a major flash flood risk in the middle of the night for y'all. In the middle of the night for you guys. So do be aware of that. So y'all, that's really all I got right now. If you look at the European model here, again, let me put that back up here again. And just give you the full-blown forecast from it. I like using it because it gives us lightning strikes. And again, look at that lightning coming into play there Saturday morning. You see that lightning going through there at 11 a.m. That's when all that rains will be coming down, James. 1 p.m., heavy rain, heavy lightning coming into play. Look at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Just extremely heavy lightning right there. Let's leave it right there for a second. And let's analyze everything real quickly here. It won't take a second to do this. What's the K-index like? It's 40. Right at 40 in that area. 40, that real dark red shade right there. What's the surface cap there? You got over 1,000 surface cap in the area. What's the dew points look like? 68, 67 dew points. Pretty high dew points, don't we? Now, what's the upper level winds at 500 millibar look like? We got a little bit of 500 millibar winds, but not a lot. Okay? So we don't have a lot of wind shear at 500 millibars. How about 700 millibar, which is the most influential thing? You got some 700 millibar wind shear, but again, not a lot of 700 millibar either. So the likelihood of seeing, say, tornadic activity. Now the wind shear at the lower levels is good. We're missing wind shear though at 500 millibar and 700 millibar in that area. So if I had to say what this lightning has given us, I would say it's given us lightning, and probably not tornadic activity. Probably not. Can't say it won't happen because it's missing a lot of wind shear there. So always be fearful of lightning, guys. Always. I can't stress that enough. Lightning is very, very dangerous. And you see that lightning, it really gets stronger at 5 p.m. And look at that line going through at 6 p.m. Just crazy line of lightning right there. And there's what looks like at 7 p.m. Man, South Texas is going to get... Look at South Texas getting hit hard there Saturday at 8 p.m. There's 9 p.m. And then things die down at 10 p.m. And then if you look... Then we come back to Sunday. Look at all the shower activity coming back in South Texas. Now, again, I do not see even a lot of lightning there, do we? So it's just going to be what? It's going to be rain. Very needed rain on Sunday is what's going to happen here. Very needed rain. And y'all, that's what we got. If you and go over to Florida, Florida's going to look great for Easter. Florida, we're going to look fantastic over Easter Day. I don't see a lot of. Let's back this up. If you go to the morning hours, we look clear, guys. We look pretty clear here. Thunderstorm activity is going to start popping now at 2 p.m. There's your 2 p.m. There's your 2 p.m. here. It's going to start popping a little bit. So, afternoon, just some scattered thunderstorms over Florida is what we're going to see. Scattered. Just scattered stuff. Hit and miss stuff is what it's going to be like. And then Monday, here comes a good shower activity coming into play. Is Monday. And even Tuesday, we'll get some good shower activity. Now, again, lightning. Doesn't look like a lot of lightning, but it's going to be a good dosing of rain. And you watch this rain fill in here a little bit from Monday. Again, not a heavy rain, but just a good dosing. Here it comes right here on Monday. There's your rain on Monday and Tuesday. Looks like Tuesday is the biggest rain day. Anything else coming to play? Man, we need rain badly here in Florida. Hey, look at that. Y'all, look at this. Look at Florida. For 360 hours out, we're getting maybe 1 inch of rain here in Tampa. All the way out to April 16th. 1 inch of rain over a 14-day period is all we're getting here in Tampa. 1 inch on the European model. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, James, take your rain in Texas because Florida, we're not going to get a lot. Man, we're going to have a wildfire crisis here in Florida, I fear. I don't like what I'm seeing right here with this because the amount of brush fires we might get here in Florida could be crazy in these forests, in the forests of, say, up in Ocala, Great Forest, the forest areas up in Ocala area. That could be very, very, very dangerous up there in that area. I fear we're going to see some wildfires here coming up. And what reason I say that too is with that lack of precipitation, and when we start getting lightning coming into play, and no rain, just what I call dry lightning, this is going to be bad for Florida. We're set up here for a bad wildfire outbreak here, and I don't like what I'm seeing here at all. All right, guys. I don't know what else I can give you. That's the best I can do right now. Not a heavy, severe weather events coming into play, but there is. And so be careful this afternoon, especially so this afternoon. Into tomorrow. Again, Storm Prediction Center. I'll cover it before I leave here one more time. Severe weather here. Tornado activity here. Some tornado activity in Texas this evening. Some possibility there. Just a possibility. Very slight, but nonetheless, it shows up on the HRR model. Then day 2, tomorrow. Tornado activity there centralized in Missouri and Iowa for the mainly centralized. But there's tornado activity all the way down here into Texas as well. So y'all, and then day 3, which is Saturday into Sunday morning, not a lot of tornadic activity that I see here for like for Louisiana here. I don't see it here coming up into play. The conditions are just not favorable for a lot of spin in the atmosphere. There's going to be some severe weather with lightning, but hopefully there's not a lot of spin in the atmosphere because the wind shear at 500 millibar and 700 millibar, y'all, is not there. It's just not there. So I don't see a severe event level at this time. Now that may change, y'all. It might change. I rely on that HR model to give us that. Right now, it doesn't appear at this time that we have a major severe spin level for tornadic activity down here. Gonna get lightning, but hopefully nothing spinning in the atmosphere. All right, guys. Have a great Thursday. God bless you all. No live tonight, as I'll be with my granddaughter and family, and we'll probably go out to dinner afterwards. So everyone have a blessed Thursday. I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow on Friday. Good Friday. It's hard to understand why they call the death of somebody Good Friday, isn't it? It's kind of hard to it's hard to explain. Not really. Uh, God died for us for our sins, and for that it's good. Uh, for someone to give up their life of death to die for our sins, and that's a good thing. It's kind of hard to explain, isn't it? That we call Friday Good Friday the death of someone, but that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, y'all. God bless y'all, and have a great Thursday.